Hi guys, I'm doing something different today. I'm going to be upside down from you guys, and I wanted to show you this journal. Some people have asked me to show my mixed media stuff, and this is my one I just finished. This one I did a oh, what am I trying to say? It was called reverse collage. This was my reverse collage journal, first one I've ever tried. I went to the library bookstore and bought I think it cost me 50 cents, a book that originally was a book that was a tourist book about Niagara Falls. And it had pictures in there that I really thought was kind of cool. It was a good size. It didn't have too many pages, but it had enough pages that I thought would be good. But it's kind of big. So, you know, when I open it up, it ends up being, let's see, the book itself is about 8.5 by 12. So, you know, it's 20, almost 24 inches wide when I open it, which makes it really awkward to show you guys, but I'm going to try anyways. So the point of reverse collage is to take your paints and go around an image that you want to leave on the page, and then do your art journaling, your mixed media on top of that. And so I'm just going to flip through. That's the cover. I didn't like anything that was on the cover, so that's what I did for the cover. I'm going to try to pick it up so that you guys can see it. But in order to see the whole thing, I kind of have to hold it back. This is the first one. The only part of this that was original is this part right here, which is glossy and hard to see. Of course it is. Maybe you can see it like that. You can see it like that. This one is not my favorite page. It got really busy, and there's almost nothing left on this page that was original. Just this little bit of water right here. Yeah, this I think is the one page that I really don't like. I love this page. Now I'm going to say right off that a lot of this journey in this page, because it's like a journal, is a lot of spiritual stuff, so just FYI. I like that. This picture here was original. This picture here was original. This little corner here is original. On this side, this whole thing here is all original. I just whited out the words that were on the page and then added some images, some texture, some torn papers, and some of them I did, you know, stencils. Then on this page, this was original, about the Revolutionary War, those ones. So I just added other vintage military-ish images to my page. This was, no, that was not original, not the scissors. This is original. There, if I turn it just right, you get rid of the glare. And then this, I don't know, I just added stuff that makes me feel happy. Some of it, the pages don't make any sense, but that's okay. This, of course, was original, the Maid of the Mist, and I liked this is the only place where I left the actual text, which was the legend of the Niagara. So I liked this legend, so I left it. If you want to know what it says, I want to set it down here so I can read it. It says, the Indian legend tells of Lalawala, I don't know, a beautiful maid betrothed by her father to a brave that she despised. Rather than marry, she chose to sacrifice herself to her true love, Hino, the thunder god, who dwells in a cave behind the Horseshoe Falls. She paddled the canoe into the swift current of the Niagara River and was swept away over its brink. Hino caught her as she plummeted, and together their spirits are said to live forever in the thunder god's sanctuary behind the falls. Well, I just thought that was really interesting, and then I found these two images. They were separate images, but they both had this intensity, the bull and the girl. And then I added sweetness runs in the family, because, you know, I can be sarcastic. And then this image here, this black and white image, was an original image that had text here. There's this one. I did a lot of blacking out. The original was this one and this one. You can kind of tell the originals from everything else because they are different. They're the glossy magazine texture. Here there was a page about people who had ridden the barrel over the falls, and this is one lady who had done so, and they're like rescuing her, and she's like all totally chill, and all the guys are all terrified, and she's like, oh, whatever. I thought that was kind of funny, so I added. And then I added these other ladies that had been on a magazine page with different eras of fashion. But I thought she kind of went with this, this one here about ladies and the different eras and how women can be a revolution. This one here I did for my husband. There was no images on this page. It was all text on both sides, so I just blanked it all out, and then did some bike riding inspirational stuff for him. And then added for his backyard bucket list, he wants to do a 100-mile ride. Not just do 100 miles, because he does that all the time, but to do a whole 100-mile ride. He's gotten close, but he hasn't actually made that goal yet, so he's still working on that. I liked this. This came out of a magazine that had sculptures in it. I really liked that sculpture. It was cool. And then this one. And when you do art journaling, I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. It's, I don't know, it's a way to express yourself in collage and mixed media. And some of it makes perfect sense on the page, and some of it makes absolutely no sense, but, you know, it looks cool. So that's... And none of this was original. Yes, a little bit was. Actually, I think I blacked out the top part. This has a little bit, you can almost see, of the falls right here. I don't know if you can quite see it. No, you can't quite see it. But it's got, the falls went across this page like this. I just covered it over in yellow. I didn't want every page to look like waterfalls. And then, of course, this one's original here, the captains of the ship, and then the picture of the Maid of the Mist. And then here, the rocks and stuff behind him are all original page. And then I added a whole bunch of quotes on all my pages, well, a lot of my pages. This one, the great thing about getting older is that you don't lose all the other ages you've been. I think that one's cool. And then that with the Maid of the Mist is original, but then I added this guy in front and a quote. Same thing over here. The Maid of the Mist is original. The rest of it is not. Some of these quotes really, I mean, like this one, really super inspires me. No one else has your story, your scars, your wisdom. No one. Embrace them and accept them. A lot of art journaling is like a personal journey. I love the colors on this page. This is like, I think my favorite page in this whole thing is the colors I ended up with here. And the only things original was this tower-like thing. Kind of almost looks like the Space Needle in Seattle, right? But it's not. It's an observation tower at the falls. And there's some falls over here. But that just really, I love that page. I don't know where these images came from, these big, colorful people, but I used a lot of them. And then, of course, this one, it's got the falls. And this little bit back here is original. This one's just weird. Came out. This one and I think it's the next one. Yeah, they both came out really weird. But the original picture had a lot of showing the construction of the falls. And so I was thinking of when tough jobs were deadly. And that during that period of time there were hidden casualties like children workers and that sort of thing. You know, you don't see that much, but that sometimes there's a hidden casualties in some of these projects. This one really came out bizarre. The original was, it showed like a hotel or something here, but it was only on one page, and this side had text, but I just blacked out a lot of it and then just added more of this like building here. And then I made everything sort of this weird neon color. I don't know what that exactly was. This one, it had pictures, like little square pictures of people visiting the falls, famous people. I started leaving them. I had painted around them, and then I just didn't like it, so I just added things on top. So there's a little bit at little corners of the original there. This side was all text, so there was nothing there to save. So I just painted a little black in the corner, added this sort of Cosmos thing and some lady out of a fashion magazine. I love this page too. Look at the pretty colors on here. So on this one, I've got this fun little cat and some quotes. And then on this side was this Mayan or Aztec art from a magazine. Oop. I don't know if you can see that. It's all shiny, so it's kind of hard to see. Maybe if I tip it that way? Ah, better. And then this one was Marilyn Monroe was shopping at the gift store. And I don't know what all this is. I think on this side was just text, so I just added this. just love looking at the colors. This one's completely weird and different. This whole flower clock thing is somewhere on the grounds, or was at one point somewhere on the grounds. It looked like a picture from the 50s with the colors. So then I just went with it with like a summer theme. And then this one's mostly, because it just had some text here. As a matter of fact, you can probably still see the text through. I don't know if you can tell. Maybe you can. See right there? You can still see the text through, and that's okay. But all of this is all, you know, the original magazine page, and I just whited out or greened out the text there. And then I wrote on here, because what this monkey has to do with this guy drinking liquor and a car, nothing really went together. So I put, sometimes the art has nothing to do with the image on the page, but everything to do with the impression of the heart. Because, I don't know, I was just feeling travel-y. But then I had this cat in the corner. Makes no sense, but that's okay. Lots of colors. Very vibrant colors. This one here, I put lots of different peoples together, because of some of the things going on in the world about cultures and ethnicities. I was thinking that we need to have loving people where we can begin healing to love my enemy. Oh, can you see that? But I love the colors on this page, and just evokes a feeling for me. This one too. This one's all about various peoples and cultures, and then this one is a quiet page, kind of. It's got a completely different feel to it. And I've got holiness in wild places on this one. And there's a tiny bit of the original back here. I had the water running across the page down here, but I blacked out or covered up the text on the top. And this one, I love this quote here. It's a Longfellow quote. "The holiest of all holidays are those kept by ourselves in silence and apart, the secret anniversaries of the heart." Really, that, and then this lady kind of being introspective there. Yeah, there are some special moments in my life that are only special to me. Anniversaries of particular days that nobody else would care about, but they're very, very important to me. This one was very wintry, so I kept the scene here, and I just added some extra branches to make that go off into this other page, and then it showed like the ice forming on the dripping down. This one's just kind of weird. I like this side better than I like the other side, but how can you explain the unexplainable? I don't know, that monkey showed up again. I was feeling that monkey. This one, actually this part here is original to the page. was a really strange picture. It had the waterfall here, but it was all in ice. And then at the bottom were all these kind of like snow mounds and these people. But this girl just wanted to be on this page. And then sometimes to have a leap of faith, you get pushed. I thought that was funny. Came out of, I don't know, Christian magazine I had. This one I didn't do a lot. It was a picture of the falls at night with these colored lights on it. I blacked out the hills just because I didn't want to see all the buildings and the lights and things. I thought it would be better with a silhouette. And that sunset or sunrise or something was there. I just enhanced it. And this one, there's the falls with swirls, and I stuck a cruise ship on there because y'all know that I love my cruising. And when we cruise, we do a bit of drinking, and we have conversations about nothing in particular, and we relax. And I have no idea what happened to this on this side, but it was interesting. This is a napkin, that there. And then spring finally arrived. And actually, I've been working on this for some time. It's taken me probably close to a year. So this was probably last spring when I did this, because I didn't do them in order. When you're doing a big fat book like this, when it started out skinny and it's, you know, it's going to get chunky like this, everybody suggests, and it's a really good suggestion, that you actually work back to front and skip around. So this was probably actually done last spring. And then this one, I don't remember. I think this building is original to the page. It was just kind of weird, so. And then there's this one. Clearly, you can tell what was original. This side had just text, so I don't know, for some reason those things spoke to me, that collection of stuff. And this one is also another one of my favorites. I love this side. That was also out of that magazine that had statues and sculptures. That one was really cool. And then that. And then the back side. So you can see how right there is how little this book was to start with. That little skinny right there. And look how chunky it ends up. And since it's going to do that, in order to not completely break the spine, it works best if you work like the first page and then the back page. And then maybe one in the middle. And then bouncing back and forth. So these were all not done in order. I did one and then another. And then, you know, I went back and forth. And I slapped some paint on. And then I came back on a bunch of pages and did a bunch of stenciling, and then I would come back and do some of the images. So I bounced back and forth through this whole book. I did not do it all in one sitting. Most pages were done over a course of several days. And then, like I said, the only one I really don't like is this one, but I'm leaving it in here because, you know, that's part of the journey. I could gesso over it and put something else, but I'm not going to. So anyway, yeah, that's my favorite page. I just thought you guys might want to see a flip through of this journal and some of the other stuff that I do. Just as a random something. Because somebody had asked, because I had mentioned it more than once about my art journal, and now that I'm finally finished with it, I thought I would show it to you. Alright, you guys have a really great day. Go out and do something nice for somebody today, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.